Greetings, champions, and welcome to Live with Chatufa. We continue to give you updates of what is happening in the nation, around the nation, as well as all over the world. Very, very important that we keep you updated, because in this struggle for the Zimbabwean people, the struggle for change, the struggle for a new great Zimbabwe, we need to always have the correct information, as we know that the enemy of the Zimbabwean people, Zanu PF, have been operating in propaganda ever since 1980. And they think that we are still going to be gullible to propaganda and we would listen to what they are saying today, even when we know that they are misinforming the nation, misconstruing facts. So it's very important for us to come up with platforms where we talk about the truth, where we expose the propaganda of ZANU PF, where we continue to debunk every lie that ZANU PF is throwing around in social media. Very, very important. And this is why this platform is there, including the main channel, Chatufa Television Production. And I continue to urge you to subscribe to both channels and also support both channels with your likes, your sharing, as well as your comments. ZANU PF and CCC are to share ZIG170 million amongst themselves. This is exactly what they've always wanted from day one. What they hate, what Mnangagwa hates, is to see money going in the hands of Nelson Chamisa. He has done that ever since the time of Douglas Monzora. He ended up giving money to Monzora. Again, he did it with Shabang. What he hates is to see Nelson Chamisa receiving money as an opposition party that has members in parliament. So we have seen these shenanigans of ZANU PF going on and on and on, and all because of the corrupt mind of the ZANU PF people. This is quite very unfortunate and sad for our country, as this is destroying the very politics of Zimbabwe, is destroying the oneness, the love, and the unity that is supposed to be existing among fellow citizens. But the hate that we see in Zimbabwe is just too much, which General Chiwenga was speaking about at the funeral at the Heroes Acre, where he said the hate is becoming too much in the nation, and it's very unhealthy for Zimbabwean people to hate each other like that, as if we are not the same people. ZANU PF patriots report that ZANU PF CCC to share ZIG 170 million. The money will be distributed based on the number of seats a party got in the National Assembly. ZANU PF shall get ZIG 111 million. CCC shall get 59 million. And this is what they have always wanted, which is quite just corruption that they are doing. They've always been corrupt and they will remain corrupt. As for Songezo Shabang and his cabal, they've really sold out the struggle of the Zimbabwean people to the highest bidder. We are still saying what they've done, they will pay for this one of the fine days. What they are doing right now to jump into bed with ZANU PF, getting corrupt together with ZANU PF, stealing Zimbabwean people's money, and lying and scheming against the politics of Zimbabwe, and wanting to twist the courts and the judiciary. All these are crimes that they are committing today. Fair and fine today, they might think that they are so protected because Mnangagwa is still in power. But the truth of the matter is, one of the fine days, Mnangagwa will be out of power and they will be found wanting. This long arm of the law shall be stretched towards them, shall catch them in their tracks, and they shall pay so dearly. Today, Songezo Shabang is enjoying millions and millions that ZANU PF is stealing from the poor Zimbabwean people. He's enjoying trinkets from ZANU PF. He's enjoying all these monies that are being given to him. And we've always known Songezo Shabang, especially from the last amount that was disbursed, he refused to share it with anyone, which caused a commotion between him, Welshman Ncube, and some of those that are up there in that hierarchy of the CCC, which has led to so much friction to this day. They are fighting in courts over the control of the party. And we know that once again, Songezo Shabang is going to get the 59 million and he's going to do what he wants with that money. And no one will question him because Mnangagwa has all the full support of Songezo Shabang. And Songezo Shabang is supported by the courts, supported by ZANU PF, supported by Mnangagwa, supported by the parliament, by Jacob Mdenda himself, Speaker of Parliament, as well as the whole parliament is behind him. MPs that belong to him, they are afraid of him because he can crack the whip at any time and fire them all. So they would rather sing for their supper, continue to support Songezo Shabang. But this has been the cancer in our politics in Zimbabwe. This has caused Zimbabwe to remain a laughing stock of the whole world. Our politics has become so dirty, so bastardized, and this is why Zimbabwe will never be considered as an insane and normal country that investors or tourists or people that are of good fortune would want to come to our country, because we have destroyed our country with our own hands, exactly like a foolish woman who destroys her own home with her own hands. So this is what is happening, family. Let's continue to be praying for the nation of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe needs prayer. Zimbabwe needs God's intervention. Zimbabwe needs people that have a heart for Zimbabwe, that could stay and work for Zimbabwe. We need new leaders in Zimbabwe, not these recycled politicians that we have seen both from the opposition, Triple C or MDC, and also those that are in Zanu-PF. We want them all gone so that Zimbabwe can be given a fresh start. A fresh start will allow Zimbabwe to regenerate, will allow Zimbabwe to have a rebirth, and that rebirth will make sure that Ubuntu, respect, the dignity, democracy, and the fairness will come back again to Zimbabwe. And once we see this happening, we will begin to see Zimbabwe beginning to work once again. Zimbabwe is a giant. It's a country that is bestowed with so much minerals. As long as we have the right leadership, as long as we have the right politics in the country, everything will work together for good. And this is our prayer as intercessors that are praying for Zimbabwe. Our prayer is that the Lord may raise leaders that are there to support and to defend the Zimbabwean people, to make sure that the cries of the Zimbabwean people is what we put first, that the welfare of the people of Zimbabwe is what we prioritize whenever we are doing budgets with the money that belongs to the people. They have to be done not for the benefit of individuals and not for the benefit of politicians, not for the benefit of those that are aligned to some people that are corrupt and are in the places of power. And that is one last thing that needs to be resolved in Zimbabwe if Zimbabwe is going to become great once again. Of course, we know that God is with us in the struggle. God is in it. Freedom for Zimbabwe is our portion. It's going to be happening anytime soon. So what we need to do is to unite as Zimbabweans, to come together and continue to pray and declare the word of God over the nation of Zimbabwe, knowing that our God is watching over Zimbabwe. Freedom for Zimbabwe is coming. Freedom for Mozambique is coming. Freedom for all the oppressed people of Africa and the world is coming, because God will definitely not continue to watch the evil prosper. One of the fine days, the evil shall bite the dust. Thank you so much, family, for joining me on the show. Let's wait and listen to one more show that is coming before we can call it a day. You are blessed.